Let's talk about that playoff picture that you alluded to just a bit ago here, Ryan. That AFC playoff picture, major movement here with the win by the Chiefs. They all but cement, I know it's dangerous to say, that divisional title now at 8-2 with a 3-game berth between them and the Chargers, which they just took care of, now sitting at 5-5. Everyone beyond that in that division, sort of an afterthought. As we take a look at this picture, it's also important that we note Kansas City, when it comes to opponent strength of schedule, has the easiest schedule remaining in the NFL. B-Mac, when you take a look at this, and you can go beyond the Chiefs here, but just some of your thoughts when it comes to the AFC and how this picture is really starting to galvanize. Obviously, some questions between the Bills and the Dolphins right now and elsewhere, but do you think it looks a whole lot different than what we're looking at right now in 2 months' time?
No, I think we can see the final 7 spots looking like this. My thing, when you look at the teams that are currently in the hunt, who do you trust? Who do you believe in more? All 3 teams have concerns, major concerns. So do we believe they have enough, either Jets, Chargers, or Colts, to be able to find a way to get into the top 7? I'm not quite ready to say that. The Jets, offensively, they had 2 total yards in 7 drives in the second half. Nothing else needs to be said. Chargers, defensively, can't stop anybody from running the football. The Colts, well, they're just the Colts. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the top 7 teams as we see it tonight in the playoffs. I think when you look at the top 2 teams, clearly it's the Chiefs. They're in their own neighborhood. And then in this neighborhood, you got some houses that are similar, right? The Miami Dolphins, a very, very explosive team, can score with the who's of who. Still got some issues on the defensive side, but they're playing high-level football. The Tennessee Titans, they just win ball games, and we don't know how. It's Derrick Henry and what else? We don't know how they win ball games, but they're 7-3. Right? And they make you play their style of play, which is a unique trait to have in regards to being physical and finding a way to be successful in January football. So I think that's how I see it. I don't know if you guys beg to differ, but me personally, I don't have a lot of faith in the Jets, in the Chargers, in the Colts currently with the outside spot, seeing if they can get inside the spot.
B-Mac, you basically called the Jets an end-of-way team, which is what you like to talk about. In terms of teams that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I mentioned the Jets because I would imagine the Bills, while they're happy about winning today in Detroit over Cleveland, they're going to be kicking themselves for losing to the Jets a few weeks ago and then losing in the way they did to the Vikings last week, because they could be atop this conference. They could be looking at home field advantage. And they beat the Chiefs. They went into Kansas City and whooped up on the Chiefs. And now here the Chiefs are. It's a few days before Thanksgiving, and they're exactly where we thought they would be, at the top of the conference, the number 1 seed. It'll be interesting to see what Miami does. They're not used to being in this position, whether they can hold on. We talk about November, December being the time that Kansas City shines. We'll see how these teams that aren't accustomed to success late in the year, how they deal with it. And then, of course, the Titans. The Titans, as B-Mac mentioned, we don't know how they do it. Last year they won 12 games. They were the top seed in the AFC. Don't count them out. I'm not counting out Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry. But as we sit here, I would imagine the Bills are not happy with the way the last 2 weeks have gone, because they could very easily not necessarily have the AFC locked up, but be in pole position to make that run in December.
Titans could use some wide receiver help as well. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. My phone is always open, and you two are always welcome to call. This has been your HQ postgame presented by Turo Tires. Gentlemen, great stuff as always. And don't forget, the conversation always continues on the premier pod in the NFL. It's the Pick 6 podcast. Ryan Wilson, Will Brinson, John Breach breaking it down day in and day out in the league we love. The latest news and notes, everything you need to know when it comes to the NFL. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the Pick 6 podcast.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.